And speaking of the African American Network of Kern County, what's you guys' history and how are you founded?
The African American Network was formed by, he's still alive, Mr. Ronald Walton, who was not a resident or born here, attended schools here. He migrated here and started a construction company. And because of the need of knowing the community and trying to network and find Black businesses or just network with individuals that he felt comfortable with, there was a need to form the African American Network. And the word means just what it says, network. And out of that, it grew from 1990 to currently. We've celebrated our 30 years of existence. We're now moving into 31 years. And that included businesses and professionals. That is why we formed. But we also tagged on there a youth program, mentoring program. We found a need that individuals needed help in just trying to find a job, but also in learning how to keep that job. And then we decided that history was needed to understand the dynamics of Bakersfield and the county of Kern. So we included a historical component. Then we continued to move and we added an etiquette component. And then we decided health and wellness because we found a number of our doctors that have passed away. They formed a health clinic on the corner of Baker Street. And so we wanted to uplift that there was physicians, dentists, there were farmers, merchants, there were inventors that came with that first wave of 1884 African Americans that were recruited to come and plant cotton in the city of Bakersfield.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And then speaking of that historical component that you touched on, what's some of the important history that people should be aware of here in Kern County?
They should be aware of the African American culture itself, not to fear it, but we are part of the development of this community. We came, some of us, from the Civil War. Most people are not aware that the slaves, I won't say African Americans, at that time they were called slaves or Negroes or colored folks, that they fought in every war within the United States of America. And at the end of the Civil War, the slaves were commissioned because they had that experience, but most importantly, they had building and development and creating experience. Because remember, before the wars, they were slaves, domestic workers. They were the culinary. They were the artists to perform and entertain. And they were the creators. When something broke, they figured out how to fix it or reinvent something to take its place. So coming to Kern County, they brought with them in 1884 their dentist, their doctor. They brought the candle maker, they brought a bustle dressmaker, they brought the hairstylist, and everyone embarked off the train, not by carriage or stagecoach or horseback. The 3,200 and some African Americans embarked here in Bakersfield off of a train. And they were the aristocrats. This is what is displayed and written about in the Bakersfield Californian under the heading of Diane Ogden. They brought with them the highest respectable portion of that culture. So I want individuals to know that the city of Bakersfield and the county of Kern, that the African Americans that came and the 250 families that stayed here, they were of the highest of respect and a self-esteem and self-sufficient group of people. Downtown on 18th, 19th, 17th Street, 20th, 21st, and 24th, they had businesses. And after the fire, of course, the heavy migration of them from downtown moved to what you know today as the Southeast. But it was not known as the Southeast. It was known as the Sunset Mayflower District. Southeast is what you know today. And moving over there with the contractors who were the principal leaders in bringing individuals from the South and other parts of the United States to pick cotton here in Bakersfield. They advanced the agri section in Kern County the cotton industry. Not California, but here in Kern County. In advancing it, they had a particular seed of cotton that they are noted for, and that was the Carolinas. And Hagan Oaks, most of you know that. Out at the marketplace, the two Kentuckians, Hagan and Carr, were the principal leaders in recruiting the African Americans to come in 1884 and settle here. Most of them left and went to Northern California. They went to Southern California. Some went back home. Many decided to stay in California, and they moved to all parts of California. So I like to remind people that the beacon for the heavy migration of African Americans stemmed out of Central Valley, right here in what you know today as Bakersfield and the county of Kern.
Yeah, thank you for sharing all that history. That's definitely interesting. I didn't know all those things. And so with that history, you know, of course, we're talking about Black History Month. Why is it important for it to not only be celebrated nationally, but also locally with all that history that you shared here in Kern County?
Locally, because out of the city, you came your athletes. Most individuals are not familiar that most of your national athletes, they came out of Kern County. Living right here within our city currently is Brent McClanahan. You have Michael Stewart. But out of that, in the early 40s and 50s, you had others that resided in and around Shafter, Wasco. Most people think of Jesse Owens, not understanding that Jesse Owens had family in the Shafter area. And he did come to this area, Jesse Owens, because he had family, cousins, and what have you. Many of your medical and some of your educational and juvenile writings came right out of Bakersfield under the heading of African Americans that produced or created the language. Or you had your very first African American city councilman elected in 1953. Ward 1, Reverend Henry Collins. You have your oldest black churches. Two of them are considered the oldest. Kane AME Church on California Avenue is the very first black church. The second, across the street, the corner of P and California Avenue, Mount Zion Baptist Church. So there is a lot of history here. There was a struggle, of course. It was during the time of segregation. But the individuals, those early pioneers, they left a deep legacy. A legacy of commitment, a legacy of making the best out of the best, but also creating something out of nothing. And they did. They left drive here, they left perseverance here, and they left total commitment in continuing to develop this community. I have not found in any of the writings of the books, such as How Long, Not Long, and some other information that I found out of the state archives and also the museum and the Kern County Library and other areas that we have researched. You will not find where they were criers or they were constantly begging. They were doers. If they had no street lights, they tried to figure out a way of connecting the street lights. They needed sidewalks. There were individuals that knew how to put bricks and do sidewalks and fences and what have you. They took the leadership, and then of course they went to the county or the city and asked for the remaining help. The Martin Luther King Park was a piece of dirt. And what happened was this lady, Miss Johnny Lothridge Parker, went to Sacramento and did a little lawsuit and acquired that dirt, which you know is Dr. Martin Luther King Park today. Said they needed a park because of segregation. Blacks could not come downtown to the parks. So they went and took that dirt. Her father planted most of the trees that you see in that park. And every day after he finished his work, he would take a water hose and water those trees. And today they're still standing. That's the commitment. You don't cry and complain You just shoulder responsibility and commitment. So that's what I want people to know about the African Americans today, the African Americans of past, and our future generations, that we are productive, that we are workers, and we will continue to strive to better the areas we reside in and be committed in continually to uphold and do economic development within this city and county.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And speaking of that, how can other people be a resource for African Americans here in Kern County when it's not the majority population? How can other people be an ally, not only during this month of Black History Month, but like you said, all year round as well?
The ally comes from the beginning of the population here. The 250 families didn't just survive in their silos. They had help from the Germans who helped build some of their homes. They had help from some of the other ethnic groups, the Basque Spanish or the French Basque, or some of the Asians, etc. Everyone from the research that I did and others, the writings, everyone joined in to help. If you needed a barn raised, they would raise it, help you raise it. But those ethnic or other groups here went back to their daily life of taking care of their families, their businesses, etc. And so the African Americans, even though they are a small number, and I like to tell people, don't talk about 6%, 7%. Evidently, you don't know the beginning and the migration of the African Americans to this town and to the county. It was a very small number, never a large number. And there's always going to be a small number here, but they are progressive and they are part of this community, and the allies are Native American, Asian, other ethnic groups, Latino, and whoever may be here. Those are the allies, because we together, that word we together, must continue to build together.
Yeah, very beautifully said. And then like you said, from the beginning of the time that you're talking about when we did migrate here, what's kind of changed and what's remained the same since that time?
The changes were, as I stated before, the election of the first African American man, and of course you had 6 more men to follow, and the very first African American woman to be elected to the city council was Miss Irma Carson. She also was the first African American woman to the police department. And then you had others that were the first to the probation department. You had some became battalion chief for the county department, fire department. You had others that were the first with the city fire department. So progress, yes, even though it was during the heavy segregation period. It was during the Reconstruction period. Assistant city manager, her name was Gail Waiters, a black woman, assistant manager to the city of Bakersfield. You have had quite a few managers to the city, architects, assisting with the budget, all sorts of things behind the scene. City clerks, some of them were African Americans. You've had your educational arm has really moved forward. You have a school, Miss Bessie Owens School. You have principals and superintendent, one, Mr. Doc. And your CSUB, Cal State University, numerous African American educators, professors, or whatever links they may be linking into. High school, the same thing. You've had on the high school district trustee, African American, Mr. Bill Perry was first, and then of course we had another. There has been a lot of progress here from the segregation period. And most people, even some African Americans here, are not aware of that. Some of the buildings downtown were built, constructed by African American contractors. Your Bank of America building was constructed by an African American for the late Milton Younger, Attorney Younger. But people drive by that and they never notice. Some of your other structures are here where they have worked. And so to me, those are monuments. So there has been stride here. Mr. Walton, the founder of the African American Network of Kern County, we partnered and he created Apex Construction Company. We built many of the homes you see in the Seven Oaks area. And we were working under Anderson Construction Company, Steve Anderson. We were working under them as a subcontractor, and we were part of creating and assisting with building the Seven Oaks Country Club. So what I'm saying is you have a lot of advancement of African Americans, but not very many individuals, whether they're African American or none, are not aware of the major contributions that we've made here and are still making.
Yeah, and speaking of course, we've had, like you said, we've had a lot of progress, which is great that people should be aware of, but what has failed to be addressed, if anything, that you feel, and what still needs to be addressed, do you feel like, within the African American community?
I think in the African American community, there needs to be more education about the past. You cannot move forward unless you know the history. You walk in the middle. I'm born in the 80s. Okay, so you were a 1980s baby. And you're saying, well, nothing's happening here. Wait a minute. You need to do your homework and research. There's a lot of advancement that has happened here. Yes, some of it is very slow, but you have to stop and think those leaders that were leading the charge, so to speak, the advocates, they may have passed on, may have retired, may no longer reside here. So things have slowed down. So that's why advocacy is very important for the African American culture. Advocate for change. Be a part of the change. Be a change agent. As John Lewis, the book behind you, see something, say something, and do something. So there's much more work that needs to be done because generations have not grown that much in knowledge about the history here. They do not know the dynamics of this community and how it operates. So they come to a negative conclusion of thought. Prejudice, yes, there's always going to be prejudice as far as the African American culture because many people don't understand this. There's not an understanding of the culture. So you have to understand how these little pockets of people formed. They're not really prejudiced, they just live in their little silos. This is the way they lived until heavy migration of blacks or heavy migration of Asians or heavy migration of the Latino. Well, individuals were coming straight from Mexico, not South America. And they would come and work and they would go back. They were not heavy migration living in here until after the mid-30s because the valley was work and I don't want to live there, I want to go back to Mexico. And so that is the way it worked. And then a few people started to stay, and then some people went up to Tulare, and they're heavy in Selma, California. You can branch over to Porterville, quite a few Latinos there, very few blacks. So you have to look at the migration of cultures before you say, ooh, this is a Johnny Carson, what he used to say, the butt jokes, racist. Don't go to Kern County. Yes, it was a rough little place to stay in, but I'm so proud that 250 African Americans stayed because it helped me. And when I arrived, it was culture shock because no culture here. Not very many activities in the 60s as related to coming from the city, or if you were from Northern California or Southern, you know, you had a whole mixture of things you could do in your churches and your clubs, but here it was very small, but it was a challenge for me. Had numerous businesses. I'm comfortable. I go back home though for the culture shock, but I'm content here and I move around. And no, they didn't like it, but as long as you don't bother me, I can do anything I want to do. So I would say to any person, before you form an opinion, get to know the city and get to know the history of the city.